everything is terrible, obviously, and I have been getting particularly fed up with the general state of illiteracy I'm seeing in the world. And considering that for some reason my video about the Foo Fighters' history of AIDS denialism has recently been making the rounds again, I figured that today I should talk about Dolly Parton. That's right. Dolly Parton. It's time for a Dolly Parton takedown video. No, I'm kidding. I'm obviously kidding. I want to talk about Dolly Parton because she's the absolute best, and I want to talk about something good in this world today. People love getting on social media and making lists about celebrities who are universally beloved, like Keanu Reeves and Mr. Rogers. And I'm here to tell you that if your list doesn't include Dolly Parton, your list is trash. Because not only does everyone love Dolly Parton, but they are 100% right to do so. It's not just that she's talented, but she is. She wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same night. You know what I accomplished last night? A Sudoku. Like it was tough, but I did it. Dolly Parton has sold more than 100 million records, recorded 25 Billboard #1 singles, hit the top country music charts in every one of the past 7 decades, won 11 of 55 Grammys she was nominated for, and got 2 nominations for Oscars, 1 for a Tony, and 1 for an Emmy. Also, over and above all of that, she has a lichen named after her. That talent and success alone would make her universally beloved, provided she just smiled and kept her mouth shut about politics for the rest of her life. Know what I'm saying, J.K. Rowling? But Dolly didn't just lock herself away in a mansion and enjoy her success, nor did she come out with terrible opinions. She publicly supported same-sex marriage before it was legal in the United States, and in 2023, she told Billboard that when it comes to a person's gender identity, others should respect that that's who they are. She's also directly saved lives by giving $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center to develop the COVID vaccine, and was one of the first people to be vaccinated to demonstrate that it was safe and effective. She's done a shit ton more advocacy work, but as I hinted at the start of this video, I'd like to specifically talk about how she has single-handedly improved literacy rates worldwide. Dolly has spoken often of her childhood, growing up as one of 12 children in a ramshackle one-room shack in Tennessee. She has said that her father was one of the smartest people she knew, despite the fact that he was illiterate. That inspired her to create Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, a nonprofit that since 1995 has sent free, high-quality, age-appropriate books to children regardless of their family's income. From birth until the age of 5, kids who are in areas that are served by local partners get a free book in the mail every single month. And by served by local partners, I mean that Dolly Parton's organization covers all of the administrative expenses, overhead, selection of books, database, publisher negotiations, and fulfillment, while a local partner program covers the cost of the books and postage. So if you're interested in getting involved, you can check and see if there's a partner in your area, and if there isn't one, maybe you can help get one set up. I wanted to talk about this now, not just because it's a happy story, but because a recent study illustrates just how happy of a story it is. Dr. Claire Galea, head of research at United Way Australia, surveyed more than 86,000 caregivers in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia, and followed families over a 12-month period after they had received at least 10 Imagination Library books to try to quantify the effects of shared book reading, in which an adult reads books to one or more children. A word of warning at the start here, as far as I can tell, this particular worldwide study has not yet been peer-reviewed. However, it is a follow-up to a smaller pilot study that has been peer-reviewed and was published last year in the Journal of Research in Childhood Education. In that smaller study, Galea and her colleagues surveyed hundreds of Imagination Library recipients in Tamworth, Australia, and compared their experiences to the average Australian child, finding that kids who participated in the program were read to more frequently for longer durations and had more books in their homes than the average Australian child. Tamworth caregivers who read to their child at least once a day were nearly 5 times more likely to read daily after 6 months and 3 years than those who did not read daily. Further, children who were read to daily at 3 years showed more emerging literacy skills than those who were not read to daily. Those promising results are why they expanded to look at the program's impact worldwide, and what they appear to have found is stunning. As summarized by the Imagination Library, kids who had received just 10 books from the Imagination Library were 4 times more likely to demonstrate stronger emerging literacy skills, such as vocabulary and phonological awareness, compared to children not in the program. Kids in the program were 9 times more likely to be read to 4 or more days per week, 9 times more likely to be interested in books, and 15 times more likely to join in during shared book reading compared to children not in the program. Additionally, caregivers in the program were 6 times more likely to count images, 7 times more likely to describe images, and 4 times more likely to let the child hold the book compared to caregivers not in the program, thanks to tip sheets that the organization sends along with the books to help caregivers know how best to teach their children to read. Again, this does still need to pass peer review, but I think it looks promising that an act as simple as sending families free books can have such a dramatic positive impact on literacy, especially for those who otherwise might not have the advantages someone like me had growing up in a middle-class family that could both afford to keep books on hand and who valued reading from an early age. Obviously, free public libraries are an important resource to help even our poorest children get their hands on books. But here in the United States, our libraries are already understaffed and lack funding, and Trump has been fighting to dismantle them entirely. And as of this reporting, even New York City's new socialist mayor, Zoran Mamdani, seems to be breaking his promise to keep libraries funded, proposing even less funding than his predecessor, while only a handful of libraries are even able to stay open 7 days a week. Even if we had proper funding for our public libraries, actually getting books directly into kids' hands solves problems like parents who are unable to find time to take their kids to the library. And these tip sheets help educate caregivers on simple science-backed actions they can take to give their kids a head start on a lifetime of loving to read and loving to learn. Again, yes, this is something our governments can and should be doing, but they aren't. And the billionaires obviously aren't stepping up either. They are by and large spending more money bribing the Trump administration than they are actually contributing to charity. So with that in mind, let's just take a moment to be grateful that even though we are in such a terrible timeline, at least we are lucky enough to be in it at the same time as Dolly fucking Parton. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.